It's Gem City Tonight with Andrew Medakaitis, featuring Amy James and the Gems. Andrew's on the town with Tara Muma from Patterson Pub. Tonight's guests, Dan Edwards, and from the Crooked Handle Brewing Company, Jason Moore. And now your host, Andrew Medakaitis.
Thank you so much. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Gem City Tonight. I am still your host, amazingly enough. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. We had Valentine's Day. It came and went. Some people broke up, some people stayed together. But if you miss the excitement here, right in the Miami Valley, we didn't get chocolates. We got a boil advisory. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, you actually have to boil your water because a main break in the Great Miami River affected more than 400,000 people. Yeah, so I'm still not convinced this actually happened because when the water came out, they were like, ooh, it's murky and it's dirty. That's an actual quote from the Dayton Daily News. But I don't think this has actually happened. I think it's a weird diabolical plot between the wine shops and the city. So all you had to do is just drink pure booze all through Valentine's Day. Don't shower, don't do anything, just drink and go to bed. And do whatever you want. So my wife and I were actually out of town, so when we came back, it'd been a couple days, so when we turned on the faucet, I felt like Willy Wonka, like turning on the hot chocolate fountain. As I turned, I was like, come with me, and you'll see, to a world of pure imagination. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Glad you followed me on that. Now, the interesting thing is, our city officials are not telling us not to drink the water. However, in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, the police department recently asked a bunch of locals to get drunk, paid for them to get drunk so they could test their breathalyzers. Call me. But this is when they realized that this is really not something they're going to do. I mean, why? How do you find out someone is drunk? Simple. I'll tell you right now. Hand them their cell phone and see if they text their ex. That's it. It's pretty simple. The thing that I don't get is how do you opt for a control group out of this? Who are the people, and especially if you've been to anywhere in Pennsylvania, are you like, no, I'm good. Say, I'm good on the Jaeger bombs. I'm just keep them. I'm just going to mosey on home. No, there is no control group. Of course, they realized this test had already been run when we shut the government down because everyone was drunk and, we ordered $4 grand worth of takeout for Clemson. Speaking of government, as the 2020 comes around, there's so many candidates. It looks like the roster for a baseball team. There's the Democrats have 20 and the Republicans have a few. In fact, there's actually 2 right here from Ohio. Yeah. So in the blue corner, the 3-time U.S. Senator and man who looks like he wants to get Marty McFly to go back in time with him, Sherrod Brown. So Brown is a highly educated man who's worked tirelessly for the state, and he could be just what we need to get back on track. But if blue ain't your color, over in the red corner, we have 2-time governor, and in his spare time is the principal from Saved by the Bell, John Kasich. Both of these men have worked tirelessly for the state. Now, keep in mind, they're working more than what's happening right now, so it can only be an improvement. So I say bring it on, guys. And while we're on the topic, speaking of things barely working, the shake machines at McDonald's will be turning out the tasty green shamrock beverage that we all love this time of year. I'm going to get spit in my food, I am. I am. But it's true. But the Shamrock Shake, the McDonald's concocts, I don't know if you've ever seen one or had one. Have you ever had one? Hey, don't knock it.
Every year.
It's the green milk shake served with whipped cream and cherry on top and comes in 3 sizes. Small, medium, and let's hope you have the luck of the Irish to stay alive after you finish this. The large actually has 820 calories and 23 grams of fat.
Oh my God.
I'm going to say that again. 820 calories and 23 grams of fat.
Wait.
Sorry, my heart slowed down reading that. So, yeah, think about this. This is one of the highest drinks you can get. I mean, Jack in the Box still wins this for a 24-ounce shake that has 1,100 calories. Nope, there it is. There it is. Yeah, just to keep in mind, put this in perspective for you. If you drank a large one, you would have to bike for 90 minutes just to burn one of them off. They're calling it the Tour de Pants. So, speaking of Ohio and the fun news that we have, in a recent survey, I was actually reading this, in a recent survey, Ohio ranks 45th, yeah, as the worst states to be single in. All the singles in the room are like, Okay, cool. Yeah. But you might be surprised to hear what state was number one. Anybody? Any guesses?
Oh.
Close. Mississippi. Yeah. Yes, Mississippi. I have no idea why they're number one. I mean, it's not fair. I mean, if you think about it, if you really want to date, you just go to the family reunion.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm the bad guy for pointing it out. But that's not the most interesting thing. The real interesting thing is the number two, Utah. Once again, absolutely puzzling. Because you think about it, everyone in that state is like a what? A sister wife, a wife of a sister and a thing, and a second teacher's, gay lover's, second cousin's roommate, or I don't know how that works. But everyone is something in that state. So, but don't despair, Ohio. Oh, no, we're only 45th. We didn't take the absolute honor of getting dead last. That goes to North and South Dakota. Considering they used to be one state, they pretty much show how bad they are at relationships. Can you imagine that breakup? You take Canada, I'll take the monuments. I don't want to see the kids. They're all old and on granite. So, speaking of breakups and leaving things, fun little twist in Canada, a woman who's recently passed away wrote her obituary. Now, you can write anything you want when you pass away. Well, this woman took that to heart. She states, and I'm quoting from the actual obituary, "For whom my children I leave behind, I'm glad I tolerated you all these years." Goes on to say, and affectionately, my husband, who was a horse's ass. Talk about going out swinging. That's a haymaker from under the hay, just. So, but that wasn't the coolest thing. The last line of the obit was, "I finally have a smoking hot body. I was cremated." Don't worry, the eulogy was lit. That was good. I like that one. So, in specific news, which will be running for weeks, I'm sure you'll see, police in Florida today, February 22nd, they've announced they have proof that New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft was caught soliciting sex at a Florida massage parlor. Yeah. Evidently, this has been a part of a larger sting, and it's been going on for months. Of course, Kraft and the organization vehemently denied it. However, with all the Patriots' problems with deflated balls, this is not going to be a happy ending. I'm putting that one out. I'm going to let that permeate in the ether. Just going to send that one out. And finally, this past week during the Duke, North Carolina game, we saw the first wardrobe malfunction we were okay with during a game that we could all laugh about. We do hope, of course, Zion Williams is okay and he has a speedy recovery. But Nike was quick to jump and let the firm apology, and they let the 8-year-old go who glued the shoe wrong. We got a great show for you tonight. Stick around. But first, Amy, James, and the Gems, everybody. All right. Those were dicey.
You're welcome.
That's a spicy start.
Deflated balls, yeah.
That was good. Are you doing anything? It's National Margarita Day. Are you doing anything for that? Oh no, you're allergic to tequila.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll drink yours. Anybody? Adam?
I have to work really early in the morning, but probably still drinking
But
margaritas. Yes.
anyone drinking tonight?
Yeah.
I'll go out with you after the show.
I got
Done.
a Zachary with my
Thank
name
you.
on it.
God, it's like an Amish Tabernacle choir in here. All right, so we're going to do a couple segments here. First is, we're always going to do something that has a reference to Dayton. So, two great ladies who I had the opportunity of being interviewed by, Dayton Unknown. They're in the audience. Go ahead, ladies, make some noise. That's as excited as they get, actually. They go ahead and give us fantastic facts. And this week is actually one I didn't know. You ever heard of Murphy's Law? No?
I think so.
It says whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Well, that's actually a phrase started right here in the Gem City, right here in Dayton. So Murphy's Law was actually coined in Dayton. Captain Edward Murphy from the Wright Field Aircraft Lab. Hold on, the Wright Field Aircraft Lab. What? What? What would you? Okay. I'm assuming it's planes. Which, by the way, another fun fact, did you know the parachute and the ejector seat were invented a week apart in Dayton?
And what seat?
The parachute and the ejector seat. I'm just going to go, a week apart? Are you kidding me? How many cosmonauts do you have to bounce off the tarmac before you get Gary and R&D and like, can we get something down here? They're not landing on their feet. Week apart. Anyway, the Wright Field Aircraft Lab, I just want to make sure I got it right, complained that his employee made numerous mistakes, commenting, if anything could go wrong, it will. That remark was paraphrased by the news later, and later became Murphy's Law. So there's your fun fact for Dayton. Thank you, ladies from Dayton Unknown. That's awesome. So also, we're always going to do a segment at the desk, whether it be hashtags, whether it be a poll, be something fun. This week, we've decided to come up with horrible classifieds. You're just going to let me hang on that one? No music? Thank you.
No.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You're buying later. So we came up with some actual found horrible classifieds. I thought some of these were made up. My writers have assured me they're not. So please, stick with me. First one. Wanted. Scuba diving instructor. No experience necessary. Gonna let that one sink in. She got it. She got it. No? Okay. All right. Another one. Now hiring cemetery superintendent. The ideal candidate must be able to supervise in a fast-paced environment. Is it like the Walking Dead cemetery? Like how? Okay. Cab drivers wanted. Must have good driving and a criminal record. Isn't that most of the cabs in New York? Isn't it? No, that's Philly. That's Philly.
Oh.
We're going to get letters. We're getting letters. All right. Here you go. Piano player wanted. Must have knowledge of opening clams. Not making it up. I've never been sued by Disney. This could be fun.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Just thought of a clam.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Clams. I don't know. I play piano. Oh.
There's nothing in there. All right. Moving on. Now hiring cashier. Cannot look like Skeletor from He-Man.
Oh.
What grocery store, where, and why is a fashion choice? I look like Johnny Bravo, but I could never go Skeletor from He-Man. Who? I don't know. No. All right. This one, I'm actually going to save that one to last. That's a good one. Here we go for all of you foodies. Turkey for sale. Partially eaten, only 8 days old. Both drumsticks still intact. $23 or best offer. OBO, 23 bucks. Why 23? 20, 25. How much is a turkey these days? The entire room is silent. I just want to point that out. This is true. You don't get one for Christmas?
Ham. What's wrong with you?
Hey, my mom does the roast rack of lamb. It looks like Tiny Tim just came back from the store. It's got the little hats on the ends. I'm not making this. It's a traditional ham, and every time she cuts it, I'm like, oh, bless us, everyone. Oh, this one's good. For sale, complete set of Encyclopedia Britannica, 45 volumes, excellent condition, $1,000 or best offer. ... No longer needed. Got married last week. Wife knows everything. And now my personal favorite. This is going to be dicey and fun. Wanted! Someone to go back in time with. This is no joke. You'll get paid after we get back. In caps, must bring weapons. Safety, not guaranteed. Contact ASAP. I'm leaving soon. Yeah, I don't think you're going back in time. All right, that was our segments from the ladies from Dayton Unknown and Horrible Classifieds. We'll be right back with more Gem City Tonight.
Not on my watch, they say, as they volunteer to serve, as they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So, not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives. Even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option, we won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
All right, welcome back to Gem City Tonight. We have a fantastic show for you. I'm going to go, our first segment, A Greek in the Streets. We're going to go with Tara Muma from Patterson Pub. We have a fantastic, great historian, great guy, Dan Edwards. And then we're going to have a little beer tasting later with Jason Moore from Crooked Handle Brewing Company. So, but first, one of the segments that we're going to do is we're going to go out from time to time. We're going to go to a local bar or a festival or a restaurant. We want to highlight some of the great things, some of the great artists that we have in this city. And a wee little segment we call A Greek in the Streets. Hey, Gem City Tonight. We're actually on location at our first and one of my favorite spots in town, Patterson Pub. This place has been like a second home away from home to me. I have great friends here, and it's one of the first places I wanted to highlight on the show. So do me a favor. We're going to interview one of my best friends, Tara. We're going to play a little game with her, and we're going to show you some of the bar that I call home. If I'm not mistaken, because I've stumbled in here many times for NFL games, it's a Browns bar. What's the exact term?
We are definitely a Browns bar. We have our own individual Browns club.
We need to make a distinction for this?
Well, it's not Browns backer affiliated. People
Okay.
get confused on that. It's our own independent.
Everybody get that? We good? Okay.
Independent club. We have a $25 membership fee, which is for the whole entire year, which is really cool because the $25 for the whole season gets you a t-shirt. Also, we feed you burgers and hot dogs every game. You get drink discounts.
I've partaken in that.
It's our own little individual thing we have. It's pretty cool.
Trust me,
And we pack the place out.
They do.
I mean,
They do. There are tables. They have big screen TVs. It's crazy.
Oh, HD.
Lo siento. My bad, dog. But you also are you're huge in Dart League.
Yes. We have darts. when we're in like full season, Sunday through Thursday, big steel tip bars. You can see we have plenty steel tip boards. We have soft tip leagues as well. We have an in-house league every Tuesday.
And that I can only use those because they don't give me the sharp scissors.
That would be
they
dangerous.
They give me the
he's
rounded
he's
scissors.
not allowed.
I don't get the
Yeah,
normal
you get
ones.
the plastic.
Yeah, they
not
don't give me the good ones.
Not the pointy ones.
Right. So how many people normally play?
Well, right now in our Tuesday league, we have, I want to say, 9 teams. So there's 8 matches going on. Or 4 matches, 8 teams.
God, you're doing math already. She's doing math.
Well, I'm confusing myself. But yeah, we use all 4 dartboards. There's 3 people per team. So that's Tuesdays. And then Thursdays, when we have steel tip matches, they can have up to 7 people on a team playing at once. And we can have up to 3 matches going on at one time. That's 6 teams times potentially 7 people.
Divide the 9, carry the 5.
I mean, it's
Hold on.
busy. It's busy on dart nights.
It is. I've wandered through here.
Tuesdays and Thursdays are our biggest dart nights.
But the thing I love, and one of the reasons, like Gem City tonight, people that we're here, is that this is my home away from home. You walk in and there's 2 doors. There's front door and a back door, and you walk in the back door, and we easily high five people all the way down, from Kevin to Brad, Dougie. I mean, there are people here.
Everybody knows you. It's pretty nice.
And it's a family. And if you're short a little bit, someone will pick up this tab, somebody will buy you a pizza, and somebody brings in a pizza from time to time, and it's just like, who wants a slice? It's just like, you? No? Anybody? Like, just flinging them around.
We randomly do carry-ins on Sundays and stuff too, which is pretty cool. Crock pots all around.
I love it. This place is great. So the reason we're here, and one of the fantastic reasons I drug in one of my best friends, is that we're going to play a little bit of game with her. It's going to be called Shoot It or Say It. Basically, it's a kind of shot version. Don't worry, she's already worried. It's fine, it's just alcohol. You've had that before.
Never.
Basically, it's
I'm
the,
actually
it's actually the interesting version, the shot version of Truth or Dare. We're each going to ask each other a couple questions, and then the third final question, we're going to have the choice of either answering it together or shooting it together. It's going to get pretty interesting. Stick around. We'll be right back here at Patterson Pub with Tara. All right, we're back with Tara and here at Patterson Pub. If you notice, I've done a wardrobe change. Actually, they sponsor a hockey team at, South
Metro Sportsplex.
South Metro Sportsplex, the Patterson Pub. I figured I'd get in green, get in the mood. So we're gonna start the game. Do you wanna go first?
I guess so.
All right, ask the first question.
Are you ready?
Not really, but let's give it a go.
Name one time you've broken the law.
Oh, okay. Other than maybe later tonight.
You can't think of one, you gotta take the shot.
Okay, no, okay, I got one. In college, I stole a street sign. I stole what's called Hollywood Drive.
Did it go in your dorm room?
Yes, of course it did.
Okay, good,
and had it
good.
for many years after.
Okay, well
So.
then that's fair.
So.
Okay, well, I guess you don't have to take that shot.
All right, that was pretty easy actually.
Kind of a bummer.
Out of the gate.
How many women have you slept with?
Oh no. Oh yeah, no. We're just gonna go ahead and do that one. Nope.
Not going there?
Not even gonna touch that one.
Okay.
That was all right. All right, you ready?
Maybe.
What's one thing that annoys you about me?
About you?
About me.
Well, I don't know. You're pretty awesome.
Cop out? No, come on. There's gotta be something.
I don't know. I mean, we are like neighbors, and we've never hung out like outside of here. Well, we have, but not like neighbor stuff. But that's not about you personally. That's me too. So.
There's nothing. The hair, the bracelets, the loud nothing.
No, your personality. I like it.
That was lame.
Doesn't mean I have to take the shot.
All right. No, you're good. We're gonna move on. You might as well just drink for this one. Name one customer you wish would never come back.
I want to have a job after this is over, so
shoot it up. Woo! I didn't even. Yeah, that's all right. All right. You ready for the last one?
I guess. Gotta do it. Oh.
What is one thing you wish your significant other would do better? Sexually.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You know,
you-
I also want to have a boyfriend.
Boyfriend, I
after
want to have a
this.
wife after this. So, yeah, let's go ahead and just, let's just, cheers. All right. I want to thank you so much for being on the show. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Tara, Patterson Pub. Thank you guys. Please come check it out. This place is awesome. I love it here. All right. We'll see you next time on A Greek in the Street for Gem City Tonight. Have a good night, guys. All right, welcome back to Gem City Tonight. That was our skit with Tara Muma at Patterson Pub. A great thanks to them, everybody there. It's a great place. So my first guest has been a staple in Dayton media for 40 years. He's been on everything you can think of, TV. I think he was around when the printing press was invented. You name it, he's done it. He's also a man with a way better voice than me. Please welcome Dan Edwards.
Hey, man, how you doing? Good to see you. You know, we were talking about this earlier. Shows like this are so important to have this local connection and to have fun doing it, taking shots at everybody. That's what is entertaining.
We figured why not? I mean, there hadn't been a show like this in some time.
Well, God love Rob Dennis.
Yep.
This is the Rob Dennis Memorial Desk.
It is. This is actually his desk. So.
And his remains are in the urn right there.
I know, but that's why there's no lid on it. We got to put something.
No, we had a great time with Rob, and it's nice to see you pick up the torch.
Thank you. Thank
and
you
I
so
mean
much.
that.
Thank you.
It's fun to be a part of this. And the studio audience is having fun too, aren't they? Yeah. They love you, man.
We really should switch seats. This is ridiculous. Oh, but
I've done it a few years, Andrew.
a few. How many?
Well, as you mentioned, I have about 40. Okay. And you know, I have to thank DATV and also like Channel 16. Amy and I were talking about this earlier. Because it's great local TV like this that kind of gave me my start. You know, I was in radio and I was kind of chomping at the bit to get into TV, and they gave me the opportunity to come in and have fun. And you know, 40 years later, I'm still in Dayton, Ohio, and I love it. I love Dayton, and I love the people. Well, not everybody, but I love a lot of the folks here. You can't have everyone.
This is true. So, what made you get into media, radio, TV?
You know, I was very fortunate that I had a high school radio station, and I was bitten by the bug very early age. And upon graduation, I thought, I graduated in the 70s, Andrew, a long, long time ago. And so I got into a factory job, and nothing against factory people. I mean, it's a wonderful occupation, but it wasn't for me. And so Buddy and I were sitting around one night, not happy with the way our lives are going, and he said to me, he says, Dan, you ought to give radio a try. You were pretty good at that when I was in high school.
Did you go to high school at Charlton Heston?
That's a long, long time ago, you're right. But anyway, I just, it's like I had the moment of epiphany where I said, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to do something. What's the old saying? Do what you love.
And you never work a day in your life.
And that's what I've been doing for 40 years,
Good.
And I've been very fortunate to be able to do radio and TV. I didn't exactly start the printing press, but I do
Gutenberg was an ass anyway.
But I've been able to do all that and have my family and stay in the same community for 40 years in this crazy industry called broadcasting or media, whatever you want to call it. And I've just been very, very fortunate. And that's, again, a testament to Dayton, Ohio, because once you get here and people kind of like you and you keep your nose clean, you're going to be all right.
Like you said, you've worked in multiple medias, TV, radio. What's your favorite?
They're both so very different. I loved radio because it's theater of the mind.
And you're on 90...
Well, I used to be on 92.9. Currently, I'm with Cox Media Group.
That's right.
I kind of I've taken those 40 years I was in front of the camera and behind the microphone, and now I'm using that experience for my clients and telling their success stories because, it's an industry that evolves and it's for the young kids, I mean, look at me. I'm not young anymore, Andrew.
The car may be new. I got a lot of miles on it, so don't...
So radio I love because it was theater of the mind. TV I love because you can tell such great stories and you show the pictures and everything. But, it's hard to say which one I like the most because they both are so unique and so important to our society.
Nice. So... What is one thing that you have loved around Dayton, or what's the biggest thing you've seen evolved?
Well, I think, when I got here, I got my first job in radio here in Dayton in 1982. And at that time, man, you could kind of feel it was kind of dipping. Dayton falling on hard times. We lost our major GM component, and things were, NCR took off, and it was just one thing after another. And now we're kind of doing this. Mm-hmm. And so it's been nice to see the evolution of this community. And I hope in some form or fashion that I've had some, credit of bringing the nose back up on this Dayton airplane. And that's what I truly love, is that we're making a rebound. And I think, Amy and probably half the guys in the band, you guys know, you feel the music scene. It's beginning to evolve. It's beginning to get hot. Dayton's got a really nice energy to it now. And I think we're all seeing it that, it's nice that we've evolved and we're becoming a happening town again.
I left. I was gone for about 10 years. When I came back, there were no breweries. Austin Landing wasn't a thing. None of this, and it's just exploded. See,
let me ask you, what was your feeling when you came back into town? Because you had been in New York and many other places. I mean, and you come back to Dayton, you're going. What was your thoughts?
I realized when I left, I was like many people, not many people, but about half of people. When you hit high school graduation, you go out of Dodge. So I went to college in Virginia and did some other things and lived all over. But Dayton was always my home, and my family never moved away. And when I came back, I saw how much, and as I was telling in a couple interviews, how much beauty there is in the city that's going unlooked, untouched, untapped. And I looked around every corner, and the Oregon district exploded, and now there's business associations, and the food is unparalleled. Yeah. The artists are spectacular.
And you mentioned breweries.
Yeah, I think I've been to a few. I can't remember. But yeah, it's just and it's spreading outward.
And so that's what's great about this show, is that you're going to feature these people.
That was one of the reasons I wanted to start this show.
So when are you having a brewery show? When I want to tune in for that.
I think in about
get that on.
About 10 minutes, we'll have a guy.
Well, and we're still working on margaritas, aren't we?
Yeah, we do need to work.
I have never in my life heard a host say to the band, "Where are you guys drinking?" And they have nothing to come back on. What is that?
I don't know.
You asked me on tequila. I'm allergic to tequila.
Okay.
Allergic to tequila.
Yeah, I found out the hard way.
I said I'm working tomorrow morning, not that I'm not going to drink a bunch tonight.
Gotcha. All right. Well, responsible band members. Wow.
Oh, I've already been drinking.
Show, not before the show. All right. We'll be right back with more from Dan Edwards on Gem City Tonight.
If you've been affected by suicide, you're not alone. Suicide is a leading cause of death that affects millions each year. In most cases, it happens when stressful life events overload the coping abilities of someone suffering from a mental health condition. And the most common condition associated with suicide is depression, an illness that goes undiagnosed or untreated far too often. But the research is clear. Suicide is preventable if we work together. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention has set a bold goal to reduce the annual suicide rate 20% by 2025. We can save tens of thousands of lives, but we need the help of everyday heroes like you. People have suffered in silence for too long, and too many families have had to weather their losses alone. You can change that. We need you to be the voice for suicide prevention, because talk saves lives. Learn how you can fight suicide. Visit afsp.org today.
All right, we're back with more from Dan Edwards. So you just told me to stand up straight. I have to ask.
Yes.
I've never heard of anyone having a degree in body language. Please elaborate.
Wow. When I was in radio, we had these consultants, or we called them insultants. They would come in and they would look over your show, they'd listen to it, and they'd pick apart everything, right? So I got to know how to talk, what your words to use, which I'm really utilizing now, and your rhythm and everything. And then I got into TV, And there they have insultants as well, where they how to you're supposed to stand like or sit like this when you're a newscaster, and you sit up straight and your back is straight, and you know this type of thing. So I would see people, these professional people who needed body language training, and so I researched it, took a lot of my notes, a lot of my personal feelings about it, and I put it into a program. And I thought, well, you know, I've got to get certification if I'm going to have people come to my seminars and that type of thing. So I went to the Body Language Institute of Washington, D.C., got my certification from Janine Driver, who is a body language goddess in the industry. And I really believe, and it's all about being genuine with how you communicate with people. And it all boils down to, and do we do this? Do you treat others the way that you want to be treated?
I try.
That's body language. That's soft skills. That's interpersonal communications. And too often, what are we doing? We've got our phone. And a phone is killing our communication. I mean, we're killing our society one text at a time. You know, and we're losing that interpersonal communication skill. And just sitting down and looking somebody in the eye and just talking, man. And just what's going on in your life, and just genuinely, that's the key word, genuinely caring about that person. And so when you've been on the phone with somebody and you get this feeling from them and you hang up, God, why did I bother calling them? Well, maybe it was you, man. Maybe you weren't on that day and they sensed it from you. So body language is a two-way street, and I really feel that it should be taught in every school in the land. I'm serious, because we've lost some of our interpersonal communication skills. And I've trained about every politician in this community, and I must say that not one of the politicians that I have trained is lost. So politicians, and the reason I bring that up, they're very good at body language. They're very good at communication skills. Like, for instance, when you meet somebody, when you met me tonight, Andrew, this is the first time we've met, you made up your mind about me in the first tenth of a second. That's the way we are. And so from that point, you have to determine by looking at their body language and how the words that they use, how they tilt their head. Like, for instance, I'll give you a clue. When someone's talking to you, or you're talking to them, more importantly, I've done a lot of seminars with salespeople. In body language, if someone tilts their head to the left when they're talking, it usually means, there's no black and whites, it usually means they're very skeptical. Been there, done that, didn't work for me.
Is anyone else shifting in their seat like I am? I'm just like, wait, okay.
But if someone tilts their head to the right, they're thinking, and looking upward, they're thinking, the possibilities. They didn't say a word, but just the way that you look, they look at you, determines how successful you're going to be. And when you get to a certain level of professionalism, they all were pretty good. But my training's about polishing the stone.
How many years have you been doing this?
I started in 2008.
Okay.
Developed my program in 2008. It's called Body Data. So, you know, I usually speak to mid-level managers, and I have like 8 different segments of my training. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to do, like from cold calling, walking into a room that you know no one. Just by looking at people's body language in that room, I can share with you who you should go talk to first, because they're receptive to your message. One of the biggest things, and I'm sorry to say, is most people hire me because they want to find out if somebody's lying to them. I know, pretty heavy stuff, right? But even I've had wives come to me and I want to know how to detect to see if my husband's cheating on me. And so
really?
That sometimes doesn't come out with a happy ending. And again, there's no black and whites, but you can tell when people are, if you know the signs of people, because when you lie, you're doing something that's unnatural. So you're doing good body language, right? You're nodding.
Thank God, I was so freaked out. And anyone notice I was holding my breath the entire time?
And he's sitting up straight.
I'm now sitting up straight, and my head, I don't know where's my head.
But when someone lies, they're doing something that's unnatural. And so what happens? Your heart rate goes up, right? And so when your heart rate goes up, your ears start to get red. Your nose is one of the most sensitive organs in your body, and so blood starts coursing through your nose, and so you start doing this. They call this the lying zone. Yeah, I'll get out and get that cable for you Wednesday. He's not going to be there Wednesday. You just caught him in a lie.
Honey, if you're watching.
So that's just some of the tips. Again, it's not black and white. You have to get an overview of that person and study them for a long time. But the person that trained me in D.C. was Janine Driver, and she was, again, she's hired by the ATF, the CIA, and the FBI, and her job is to come in and say, Janine, this is a terrorist operative, and we want to see if he's lying to us. And so she just starts reading his body language, man, giving him softball questions to begin with. And then you start coming in harder and harder and harder, and you see how they vary from that first question to the last. And just like you, they start squirming. They'll do this, And, it's interesting stuff. I would do it full time if I could, but it requires a lot of travel, and I'm kind of a homebody.
Now everyone who's watched this show, we're going to go out, we're going to go to a bar, we're going to go to a restaurant, and now we're going to start doing this.
See, that's the thing, though. Body language is tough when people get a buzz. Because
body stability is tough when I get a buzz.
Standing up.
So, you have to, when people are, getting happy, they'll kind of loosen up a little bit. You can kind of read it, but I feel very odd trying to read someone's body language when they're, they've had a few.
Right.
That's not really fair because they do kind of let their hair down and all that. But it really is interesting. And I could talk about it forever, but you only have an hour show, so.
All right, last question for you.
Yes, sir.
Favorite place to go in Dayton?
Oh, wow. You know what? I think it's Carillon Park. Because, and let me ask you, yes, thank you. Carillon Park, I want to ask the audience a question. Answer me correctly. How long has it been since you've been to Carillon Park?
Less than a year.
Huh? See, that's very rare. Usually, well, I haven't been there in a couple years. Or the Air Force Museum. I love the Air Force Museum.
Mm-hmm.
I love aviation. It's one of the reasons that I stayed in Dayton. I'm just a flying freak. I got to fly with the Blue Angels. I got to fly in the Wright B Flyer. Talk about, I took a trip when I was at Channel 2 as a reporter. I went to Germany with the 445th. Got to see what our men and women in the military do. And let me tell you, they hit the bleep button. But they really do. And, to be a part of that, to have those experiences that were right here in Dayton, it's a tremendous thing. And if you haven't been to the Carillon Park, they have everything down there now.
Yeah.
They've got a great brewery. We're talking about that. Some of the things that Brady Kress, who is the Walt Disney of Dayton, they've got some exciting programs coming. And now all of that history is being placed where it should be. And so those are some of my favorite things. There's a song, but some of my favorite. Oh, that's copyright. We can't play it.
Oh,
okay.
No. Ariana Grande did that.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. We're already getting letters. It's fine. No worries. Dan, I cannot thank you enough for coming on.
Andrew, it's a pleasure, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll keep following you, okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dan Edwards, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with Jason Moore from Crooked Handle Brewing and more from Gem City tonight.
All more breweries. All right.
Yeah.
Make-A-Wish grants a wish every 17 minutes. I know that sounds pretty magical, but in fact, it takes more than magic. It takes muscle. So, when a kid like Fabian wishes to be a superstar, things happen. Whoa! Or when Kahim transforms into Super Kahim. He feels invincible. It's because wishes have proven physical and emotional benefits that can give children with critical illnesses a higher chance of survival.
Help us make sure every wish comes true. Join us at wish.org.
All right, welcome back to Gem City tonight. My next guest is a fantastic guy, one of the owners and head brewer at Crooked Handle Brewing Company. Please welcome Jason Moore. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
What was that? I think they were playing, since it's National Margarita, and you have a beer coming out today.
We do, yeah, margarita beer. We brewed a beer with 10 pounds of agave nectar, some lime, some orange. It's like 10.5%, little salt, rocks.
So we're going to Crooked Handle
No
after
tequila in it, so.
There you go. So, thank you for coming on the show, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Why is your voice deeper than mine, but that's not cool.
still waiting for puberty.
If I get up to heaven and the God doesn't sound like this, I'm going to be pissed. I'm just going to be like, nope, I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm done. So right out of the gate, I mean, what made you want to start a brewery?
I wanted a cool place where I could drink for free.
That's the best answer we've had on the show so far.
No, honestly, man, my wife and our best friends, we started this thing in a garage, and years of doing that, and then the brewery boom started happening in Dayton, and we love breweries, we love beer, and a lot of hard work and opportunity came up and presented itself to go for it.
You're
we did.
You're in Springboro, right?
We are, yeah.
Why Springboro?
Well, I'm not really sure. That was just something. It was just a whirlwind. Honestly, we met with some people at Dorothy Day Market, the property manager, and a few other people, and let them try some beer. And we're like, hey, we're looking for a place, maybe in your basement. We can brew some beer, get our name out, come up with some money, open a place at some point. And the property manager said, hey, meet me in Springboro tomorrow. I think we can find something for you. And she showed up with electricians and architects and plumbers, and like, do you think this will work for you? And I was like, we could probably put something in here. And it was just a whirlwind from there on.
How many years ago was this?
3 years we've been open now.
Nice.
Yeah, 2015, Christmas Day.
Of all days.
Of all days, yeah. Yeah, we were slammed. I was working the bar. We didn't have a bartender yet. It was my wife and I, and I'm not good behind the bar at all. So I quickly got fired at that, and away we went.
But you're head brewmaster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you oversee all the day-to-day, or?
I do all the brewing, yeah. We have an assistant now, Ken, who does our experimental brew club, where we do some small one batch stuff, and he's the one that came up with the margarita beer, so he does all our crazy stuff. He's put his Christmas tree in beer and all, just whatever you can think of.
Speaking of crazy, you have, if I get this right, you have Jersey Girl. What is a Danipa?
Double New England IPA.
What in the, what?
Big beer. That's actually a recipe one of our former bartenders, Sharon, came up with, and we brewed it, and it took off. It's a New England style hazy IPA with passion fruit and mango, and I think it came in at like 8.5% or something like that. So
when I think beer, I don't think like fruit. I think hops. I'm very old school. I don't. Why? I mean, what makes you branch out like this?
It was the next thing. I mean, the New England IPAs right now are crazy, and then brewed IPAs are coming along now, which is a super dry, hoppy beer, but not bitter, which is strange. I'm not even sure how that happened. But yeah, the New Englands are the hit right now. Super citrusy, fruity, not so much of the bitter resin that you get from a traditional IPA, and they're taking off like wildfire. So you got to kind of follow the trend.
You know, if I didn't Google anything you've just said, I would have no idea what you just said. I literally had to do research for this whole interview.
Well, you've been in a couple times.
I have. I think I had the margarita beer you've done before.
We've done,
or something.
No, this is. I don't know if we did one last year or not. This is the first one we've done that's 10.5%. So this is
I'll go in. I won't remember leaving.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
Go in.
Yeah, bring an Uber.
So, roadside PB porter?
Peanut butter porter, yeah, we've had that forever. That's one of our flagships. Very popular beer. We won several awards with that one. It's always on tap now. Finally, we got a big enough tank we could keep it brewed. We ran out of it constantly in the beginning, and I don't know, I probably had 6 pints of it my whole life. It's not my thing, but people love it, and they would come in, and if we didn't have it, they'd leave. It's like, we have 14 other beers you could try, but they wanted that one. So
you're not just beer, you have variants of bourbons.
Yeah, we have a lot of whiskeys, bourbon, scotch, gins, vodka, tequila, pretty wide range. We don't do a ton of mixers, with or without rocks. We have a mule now that we've started doing. You can get with traditional lime, pineapple, or cranberry, so those have been fun, pretty popular for the non-beer drinkers, as well as wine and cider. We've got something for everybody.
I love the fact that because you guys don't do food.
No, we do snacks, and we allow carry-in, and bring your own, cook something at home, bring it if you want. We don't care.
That's what I love.
Yeah, just come in.
Are these homemade nachos?
Yeah, it's crazy. We've had people bring in, Thanksgiving meals almost, and set up at the table and have 15, 20 people show up, and they'd be there for hours just plugging away.
So one of the things
I
want to highlight is right near the front door when you walk in, you have, we welcome military, first responders.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is Ed one of the owners, is a close friend, or it's just something that you want to let the community know that, because a lot of people, they always say it, but they don't have the sign right up front.
Yeah, we started one of our original partners, or one of my old homebrew buddies who was going to be a partner at Crooked Handle is a EOD tech in the Air Force. And so him and a lot of his buddies would come in, and I have a lot of friends in the military, and so proud of what those guys do, and any of the first responders, police, firemen, military, active, retired, whatever, if you come in and you let people know, sometimes they're, you know, they don't want to say, but if you tell the bartender, we'll give you a discount on your tab, and we love doing that.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, please. That's awesome. So to put you on the spot before we go to commercial break, if you had to have one beer, which one is it?
Man, I love sour beer, but we don't brew one there. That's usually the first thing I look at on the menu, and then after that, I go for a lager, typically.
Okay, I'm a sour guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Branch and Bone's doing some good ones now, and there's a few. Pretentious and Columbus is doing some awesome ones, but
but of your line?
Of my line, my favorite, usually if you're in there, I'm drinking the Burro Blonde, or we have a light lager now that we just released. We've bought some new equipment, and we're lagering some beers now, so that's been a fun new change for us.
All right. Well, stick around. When we come back, he's actually brought some goodies for us to try, so we'll be right back with more from Jason Moore for Gem City Tonight.
How do we pursue inner peace, and how does that extend into the global community? I think that it starts with our own beliefs and our own actions individually, and then it just becomes a life mantra. It becomes contagious. People adapt to that. They want to be part of it, and I think that leads to global collaboration.
One love, one love.
Welcome back to Gem City Tonight. I'm still here with Jason Moore. Not only has he brought some goodies, but we're going to talk about some great stuff going on there. So tell me about the thing you have going on, Brew for...
Oh, the brewing benefits?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just started this, to streamline our process. We wanted to give more to each charity instead of just spreading out a bunch of random, $10 bills to 100 different charities that ask, because we do get a lot of requests. So now you can go through the website, and every month we will pick a new charity, a 501c3, local 501c3, and we'll donate 10% of our sales for every Thursday that month towards that given foundation.
That's awesome.
And this month we're doing ALS, the local chapter. So we're pretty excited about that. And then we'll, if you're interested, you can go to the website, go to Brewing Up Benefits, and there'll be a checklist of things you can go through if you see if you qualify or not, and then we'll get your email and select, hopefully you, and get you added into the list.
That's you. For those who don't know, I work a lot with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and we've been talking. So yeah, you're definitely going to have me on your list.
Yeah,
so.
sounds great. Look forward to it.
So you brought goodies.
Yes.
So let's start with the Ale Trail.
Yeah, the Dayton Ale Trail is something I helped start, or I don't know, found, I don't know. We wanted to do it forever, and we just couldn't get it done. And Mike Muncie from Hairless Hair and myself, we just finally took the bull by the horns and said, we got to get this thing done. And we corralled all the local breweries and put this book together. And there's ads for each brewery. We each get a two-page full-color ad, and you take this book around to each of the 19 breweries that are in this book. This is the 2018 book. 2019 will release in June. Mm-hmm. And once you collect a stamp from every brewery, then you'll get a howler, empty howler. But you'll pick that up at Crafted and Cured. And then every year we're going to repeat the process, add the new breweries. I think we're up to 21 or 2 now just from last year. There's a few more getting added in. And then we'll pick a new prize every year and keep this thing rolling.
That's awesome.
Trying to make sure everybody knows what's going on in Dayton and the surrounding areas and all the great breweries that are local and kicking out some great product.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Where do you pick these up?
Every brewery has them.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, cool. So let's get on to the good stuff.
Yeah,
Come on.
finally. Jeez.
All right.
It's Margarita Day. You're driving me up.
So what do we got? He brought goodies.
This is our Wee Bit of Trouble, and I've seen you drink this a couple times at the brewery, so I
yeah,
thought I'd bring something for you. Yeah.
So what are the? Tell me about it.
This is a Scotch ale, or Wee Heavy Style Scotch ale. A lot of caramel notes. It's big, 8%. Might as well try it. Cheers.
Yeah. What do you? Oh, good. Oh, yeah.
Just like you remember?
Yeah, I think I remember. I had 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I know you do a lot. I've gone in and seen barrels from Woodford Reserve or maybe Jim Beam, or you have.
Yeah, I just filled 2 new riff barrels yesterday with our Russian Imperial Stout. We call it a machine, and that'll be in there about a year and should come out at pretty close to 11%. So that'll be another monster fun beer.
What's your biggest one you've ever done?
Probably the most popular has been this beer in a 1792 barrel.
Okay.
And we released some bottles of that, and that was gone within a weekend. So that was pretty cool. That was a well-received beer. The next one out will be our peanut butter porter that's in wild turkey barrels in a Kentucky Spirit barrel. So yeah.
I'm sorry, you're speaking my language.
Yeah, they're fun. We don't have much room in our space for a big barrel program, but we get 3 or 4 in a year. And
have you thought of expanding?
Yeah, we're thinking about it.
I put him on the spot. Okay, all right.
Nothing's in writing yet, but yeah, we'll definitely let you know.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it should be fun.
All right, so gotta ask, if you're not drinking beer, what are you drinking?
Scotch.
What kind?
Bunnahabhain's one of my favorites. I like the Islays.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then I'll throw in a peated monster, but yeah, I got hooked when I went to Scotland. And actually this beer, Wee Bit of Trouble, is named after a friend of ours over there. So there was an awkward situation I won't explain on TV, but we got into a wee bit of trouble.
It's public.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah.
So this is a howler or growler?
That is a howler.
Okay.
32 ounce.
Okay. Do you do, because I know not only do you have, because I have a couple t-shirts, and you have a full line of stuff, but can you purchase these separately? You got to buy something in them?
Nope, you can purchase them separately. We have howlers that size. We have growlers that are 64 ounces, and we have crowler cans, which are 32 ounce aluminum cans. So if you're going somewhere that doesn't allow glass in, you can grab one of those and fill it up, and away you go. Throw it in your backpack.
I know, because I was there for the Burrow Brand release. How many do you plan to always do? Like, we're doing 4 releases a year. We're going to do...
Right now, yeah, we're doing a couple can runs and a couple bottle runs a year. At our size, it's really not our thing, but we still like doing them. We like to see our 6-pack sitting in there and watch them walk out the door. So, yeah.
I've taken a few.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, to put you on the spot for one last question, if it's not your brewery, which one are you drinking at in town?
Well, in town, I'm the only one in town for now.
This is true. You're the only one in Springboro.
I make our way around all of them. I was at Work Wing this afternoon. I go to Hairless Hair. We go down to Lucky Star a lot. Great beer, great tacos.
How close knit is the brewing community? Is it
very close? And that's one of the reasons I wanted to get into this. Just from talking to everybody, we're all very supportive. We help each other. I could call any brewery, or they could call me, and if you need something, we'll be there and help you out. And it's really unusual. Especially since my last job, nobody would say anything good about you until they.
Well, I know you guys are part of the Ohio Beer Council, right?
We use the Ohio Beer Council. Yeah, there are a couple of attorneys that spend a lot of time helping out some breweries, local breweries. Yeah, and our main guild is the Ohio Craft Brewers Association, and that's a statewide group that sends people to Washington and lobbies for us and make sure our taxes are low and we can keep affording to do what we're doing and making great beer for you.
See, I keep asking you the questions, so you talk and I drink.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's great. Yeah.
I like that. All right. Well, it's good to know you have plans to expand. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it.
So, Jason Moore from Crooked Handle Brewing Company. Fantastic. Go check it out. It's in Springboro. But we'll be right back with a little bit more of Gem City Tonight. Stick around. Cheers.
Just stop. Dare Joe.
Pare.
Stop.
Can we just stop for a moment?
If I can create my peaceful world,
and he can create his peaceful world,
and she can create her peaceful world,
maybe we would be less likely to destroy each other.
All right, that's our show. Thank you for watching Gem City Tonight. And remember, Dayton, you're not alone.
You never will be.
Have a good night.